Hey everyone, this is Karla with Discover Your Center, and I'm here to offer a little longer video on the practice of Abhyanga, this self-massage with oil. If you haven't seen the short one, you may or may not want to see it. I'll probably cover things here. But if you already saw that, you're here because you want to know a little bit more. You might have some questions. I get a lot of questions about this self-care practice. It's one of the practices that I introduce to just about anyone who is looking to nourish the body, step into self-care, experiencing any type of overwhelm, anxiety, disconnection, trauma. It is a beautiful practice that then we can give to our children. All three of my kids are now using this in their own care, and it's just, it's wonderful to see how they're growing up with a different way of just recognizing that your body wants to contribute to you, and how to care for a body and be in a body, and know that your body gives you information. And this is a practice where when you're using your own healing hands and you're putting them on your body and just sort of checking in and talking and listening, it's like, oh wow, thanks body. Like there is information coming that wants to gift you. So how do I do this? I have a number of oils in the bathroom. My kids tend to like to put essential oils in their bottles, and some of the favorites around here are lavender. Sometimes they make their own creations, but the top picks are usually lavender, which is calming and beautiful for all things skin. Thieves in the fall and winter I like to use, and one of my kids does, just boosting the system of the body, and there's some heating oils in there so they can warm it. And it's diluted, right? So you can choose how many drops you put in there, anywhere from 2 to like 8 if you're using a small bottle. Frankincense. I have 2 Ethiopian-born daughters, and let me tell you, that's a magical oil, especially for one of them. Like, she just loves it, loves it, loves it. All things skin. It's just nourishing and can just really help with focus and being present. So, I have different bottles. I like this little pump for my kids. This is not what's in here. I'm recycling bottles. I actually buy by big gallon sesame oil. And sesame is usually, when we lived in the north in Wisconsin, I was using sesame year round. Now that I'm in the south, that's a little too thick for me. When spring and summer come around, I'm usually shifting to some other oils. So I want to talk a little bit about that because that's a question that people have. So first of all, this is what the oils go in. You can choose glass if you want. I used to have a mason jar, and then, you know, in the bathroom, a tile floor, it just got broken so many times. So I use plastic. Choose what works for you. This is an old mug that I made many years ago in my pottery days, which may return. And it's great because it's thick, and what I keep it in the bathroom. And what I do is in the morning when I'm heating my kettle and I'm having some warm water, I'll just come in and I'll put in a little oil or a little water, hot water in here. When I'm ready, I stick a bottle in to the thing, and then by the time I'm ready for my shower, this is warm. And then you have warm oil, which really seems to only be necessary for me when it's colder months, because I tend to run a little colder. Let's see how to do this. So I warm the oil, and then I am rubbing that oil on my body. I choose to do it before my shower. Some you do after. It's just really a matter of choice. And I realized I missed the kinds of oil. So sesame, in the colder, if it feels thick for you, or you tend to run hot, you could try coconut oil. I always use organic cold pressed oils. If you are kind of needing something in between, then, and remember that coconut oil solidifies, right, in the winter. I also have almond oil, and I have grapeseed oil, which tend to be a little bit thinner. So sometimes I may even, like half and half, I'll use sesame oil with almond or grapeseed, or you could use coconut with one of those oils. Just play with it. What if there's no right or wrong? If you notice it feels thick and it's a little too much, go with a lighter oil like grapeseed, almond. The lightest and coolest oil would be coconut, and vice versa. If you're moisturizing and doing this practice with coconut, and then you're feeling like you're really dry later in the day, go with another oil and step it up. You can always email me, Karla@discoveryourcenter.com, and I'm happy to just chat or email with you and facilitate that. So when I'm in the bathroom, so I get undressed, and then I use these beautiful healing hands to touch my body. And the oil, I will put long strokes on the limbs of the body. When I get to the joints, I'm doing circular motions, okay? Some days this practice is about a minute or less. I usually like to take a couple minutes at least. Once a week, if possible, I love to take 20 minutes, all right? Let the oil even sit on my body for a minute and hang out, and then I hop in and rinse out. I, not every day, but about once a week, am also doing like around my ears. I'm going inside my nostrils. I'm really taking time everywhere, and I'll even massage my head a little bit. So it just depends. Like, do what works for you. Start, ask questions, see what shows up. If this is really nourishing and gifting to you, ask more questions. Wow, I wonder what it would be like if I took a little longer time this weekend and I did my scalp and I did my ears. Okay, so long strokes, limbs, circular here. You can include your breast massage, women, and teach your girls too, like how to check in with what's going on, and then get in up in the lymph nodes up here. Check in here. We've got more on the groin. So when someone is starting to get like the immune system's getting low, or maybe something's coming on, my girls now know. Like they'll say, "Mom, there's a little bump here." All right, and that's usually just the lymph nodes, the lymph glands, like kicking in. And we're like, "Oh, okay. Well, let's maybe we'll add an essential oil. Maybe we're going to ask more questions, like if we want to hydrate, do you need rest? Are there any kitchen remedies we can add?" Which are all self-care and things I talk about in my coaching and in other videos. But this is your check-in, right? This is your daily check-in. It's the invitation, first of all, if you wake up and you feel like all scattered, to just say, "Hey, I'm here. Body, thanks for showing up. How can we work together today?" All right, so touching, lubricating. It's cleansing. Some people freak out about oil a little bit. Oil is very cleansing. Like a lot of our soaps can sort of strip the body of oils. If we're using lotions after the shower, you've got oil and water that don't mix. Then they add in an emulsifier to make it all come together. Then you got to start in adding some more products, right, that are toxic to the skin. The skin's the largest organ on your body. Love it. Treat it well. If it lights you up, use this practice of an oil massage. And so when I pop in the shower, then that hot oil, that warm oil, is just opening up the pores, and the oil is nourishing in. So if you're someone who runs dry, this could just be so gifting and nourishing. I used to just have like flaky skin and everything in the winter and felt dry no matter how much I drank. And I'd get shocks all the time, and I started practicing this, and all of a sudden I wasn't getting shocks in the winter, and I was feeling nourished, and I was feeling hydrated, and my skin was looking nice. So just notice what you notice. Yeah, so regular shower, pop on out. If you have any concerns about your drain, about once a week I run a hot kettle down the drain. We've never really had any major issues out of the norm. And sometimes I'll maybe even put a little baking soda and vinegar in there, and then let that fizz up, and then pour that hot water in and just let it go down. Towels, your towels might get a little oily from time to time because you're just sort of patting off when you get out. So if you have really special nice towels that you love, maybe don't use those on the days that you're doing abhyanga. I don't have such a concern about that, and the towels seem to last a long time. When I wash and dry them, I use Thieves laundry soap, and I love it. And when I throw things in the dryer, I just don't dry on high heat, all right? Because there may be a little oil in the towels. So there hasn't been an issue there, but those are some tips if you'd like. If you have any more questions, please let me know. This is beautiful. It's such a beautiful practice. And what if we can use this as a way to open up a greater awareness, like of how to be kind to ourselves so we can be kinder to the people that we love in our lives, how to nourish ourselves so that we can then nourish our families, how to care for ourselves so we can care for our families and the other people in the world. So often if you're a caregiver, you're putting everybody else first. This doesn't take a lot of time at all, and it's so nourishing, and in so many ways, like not just to the physical body, but also to the emotions and to the mind, and then to your awareness, which is really that presence, and it invites a greater gratitude. I mean, before I started this practice, it was hard for me to look in the mirror sometimes. I just was so disconnected. I didn't even want to look. And I just found that the more I was doing this, I could look at me in the mirror and I could see me I'm getting a little teary, and I could have gratitude for my body, and for me, and for just about everything else around me. So if any part of this lights you up, I invite you to try it and just see and notice. Maybe it's for you. Maybe it'll lead to the next thing of something else you could choose to nourish you and be more of you, and receive from this body. Because when you're moving those hands around, your body's going to talk to you. Like, you can ask, like, hey body, how you doing today? And you might notice, like, I used to notice, like, all of a sudden in my hip, there'd be somebody like, whoa, as I touch that, it's a little tight. I didn't even know that I had that, but now I do. So I'm going to spend a little more time there. And what else could I choose today? Maybe I'm going to stretch. Maybe I'm going to do some yoga. Maybe I'm going to take a nice walk. Maybe I'm going to take a rest. Like, what is required today for my body in the day? And then go out and choose what lights you up. What lights you up? What if what lights you up is actually true for you? And the heavy stuff, well, it's usually not true for us, and we can also start moving some of that out and letting it go with this beautiful practice. Thank you so much for choosing you, for having curiosity, for being open to new practices. Whatever you choose, I'm grateful. Caring for you is the biggest gift you can give if you are a caregiver. It is the biggest gift to the world, and you are a gift. So care for this beautiful gift. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one.